cavalry horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger.
The Glen Darby gang had struck again, robbing the Wells Fargo of a $100,000 payroll. But this time, one of its members was in trouble, for his trail had been picked up by the Lone Ranger and Tonto. A long, hard trail, and they had no intention of losing him now.
You're Kansas Charlie, aren't you?
I'm not saying a thing.
You'll have lots to say before you're through, Kansas. The law's been after you for a long time.
I don't get you. You talk like a lawman, yet you wear a mask like any other owl hoop. Why?
Where's the money from the Wells Fargo holdup?
Well, you're out of luck, mister. I don't have any of the money with me. Darby's got it all. We separated right after the holdup and we're meeting later. I wouldn't advise you to follow me. You'll be outnumbered 4-1.
We don't intend to follow you. Just tell us where you're meeting Darby and I'll go alone. Get his horse, Tonto.
What are you going to do?
Since you're so anxious to join Glen Darby and his gang, we'll just let you walk there.
Walk? I'd never make it across the plains. I'd die of thirst.
That's not our worry. You ready, Tonto? Let's go.
Wait a minute. I'll talk. We're meeting Darby at Pineville.
Pineville? That's where he originally came from. He hasn't been back there in 10 years.
I know. That's because his wife and kid are still there. He didn't want to make trouble for him.
It's very clever of Darby. The law stopped looking for him in Pineville years ago. Tonto, I'm going after Darby. You take this man into town and turn him over to the sheriff.
The sheriff? Say, are you guys really lawmen?
We're not outlaws, if that's what you thought. Tie him tight, Tonto.
Me tie him plenty tight. Meet you in town as soon as him in jail.
Hello, dear. Lunch is almost... Oh, Jimmy, what happened?
Same thing that always happens. I was in a fight. Here, Mom, let me do this.
About your father?
Wells Fargo holdup he pulled yesterday. Kids in town heard about it. They started making fun of me, and I had to fight back.
What did they say?
Same thing they always say. I'm Jimmy Darby. My father's a thief, an outlaw. How much money did he send us this time? And they start to laugh.
They've no right to laugh. We've turned over to the sheriff every cent of money your father sent us for the past 10 years.
That doesn't change anything, Mom. That doesn't keep him from robbing and stealing and getting his face plastered on every wanted sign for miles around here.
Now, darling, you must try not to judge your father too harshly. He's done a lot of bad things, it's true, but not as bad as people make him out to be. He's never killed a man because it's not in his heart to do it. And I'm sure he's always gone on loving us, or he'd have forgotten us a long time ago.
If he loves us so much, why did he desert you 10 years ago? Why does he keep us living in shame and disgrace all the time? We should have moved away from here years ago, changed our names, and started over fresh somewhere else.
No, dear. I don't believe we solve our problems by running away from them. Any more than I can believe that your father is all bad. I know him too well.
Oh, Mom, how can you stand up for him like that? I don't see why you ever married him in the first place, or why you keep his picture around here. He's done nothing but hurt you.
Oh, Jimmy, I wish I could make you understand. Your father wasn't always like he is now. I remember so well when I first knew him. He was reckless, daring, and a little wild, and so good-looking. Every girl in town had her cap set for him, but I was the lucky one. I was the one he fell in love with. I remember so well the night he proposed. We were walking on the outskirts of town. It was a lovely night, so still and starry.
You're a fool if you marry me, Amy.
Why, Glenn?
You know all the things people say about me.
I don't care what they say.
But it's all true, Amy. I am wild. I am reckless. I do crazy things sometimes.
That doesn't mean you're bad.
When I was a kid, I was always getting into trouble. My father used to say I'd come to no good end. He may have been right.
Nonsense, Glenn. You can be as good as anyone in town. I'll help you to be.
Reforming me already? No, Amy. That's something you'll never be able to do. If you want me at all, you'll have to take me just the way I am.
I do want you, Glenn. Just the way you are.
Amy.
And so we got married and came back here to live. It's hard for you to understand, Jimmy, how two people could be as much in love as your father and I. You were born a year later, And I've never seen a father as proud of his son as Glenn was of you. He dreamed great dreams for you. You were going to be a professional man, a doctor or a lawyer. You were going to have all the opportunities that he never had. But as time went on, things started going wrong. We had 2 or 3 years of drought, some sickness, our money ran low, and then one night... Glenn, what happened?
Pack a bag and get the kid ready for traveling.
But your arm...
Never mind my arm. Get packed.
Why? Where are we going?
Hurry it up, Amy. They're after me.
After you? For what?
There was a robbery of the mail train. I was in on it.
Oh, Glenn, no. But why?
Well, I had to find some way of paying the bills.
Oh, not that way.
Hurry it up, Amy. They're coming closer.
No, Glenn. You've got to give yourself up. Stay and face it.
And spend years in jail? You know I couldn't stand that. Are you coming or not?
I'd go anywhere with you, Glenn, but I can't let you do this to Jimmy. He's not going to spend the rest of his life running away from the law.
All right, if that's the way you want it. I'll send for you later if I can. Reckon my dad was right about me coming to no good. Goodbye, Amy. Take good care of Jimmy.
He ran out through the kitchen. I knew then it would be a long, long time before I saw him again. Maybe never. It was almost more than I could bear.
Sorry, Mom, I can't feel the same way about him that you do. All I can remember is the last 10 years, all the misery he's caused you, all the jeers I've taken for being his son. I wish he would come back, so I could kill him.
Jimmy, you wouldn't. That would make you worse than he.
I don't think so, Mom. There's a price on his head. The law would thank me.
Oh, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy.
Hey, Injun,
What matter now?
my saddle's slipping. That cinch must be getting loose.
Cinch looked tight to me.
Tell you it's not. I saddled up in a hurry this morning. Didn't do the job right. Well, come on. You want me to fall off this horse?
You not try any tricks.
How can I try any tricks with my hands tied behind my back?
Nothing wrong with cinch.
You bet there isn't. Come on, horse.
We're almost out of firewood. You reckon you're too full to chop some for me?
If I am, it's your fault, Mom. You cook too good. I'll have an armload for you in a jiffy.
Glenn.
Hello, Amy. 10 years and you're still as beautiful as ever.
Oh, Glenn. Glenn. Why did you stay away so long?
It was best, Amy. For you and the kid. What's he like?
He looks a lot like you, Glenn.
Yeah, but what does he think of me?
He's never known you. A boy can't understand a father he's never known.
He hates me. Is that it?
You could make him love you, Glenn, if you wanted to.
How? By staying here, giving myself up?
It's still the only way, Glenn.
Where's the boy? Maybe he has more sense.
I'm right here, outlaw.
Jimmy, put down that gun.
I told you I'd kill him if he ever came back, Mom.
So you hate me that much, son?
Why shouldn't I hate you? You deserted my mother. You made us the laughing stock of this town. Because of you, I'm ashamed of my own name.
Jimmy, I told you to put down that gun.
Don't come any closer, Mom, or I'll pull the trigger right now. Don't you see how much better it'll be if he's dead? It's no more than he deserves. The law will thank me for it. So will all the innocent people he's robbed. And then he won't be able to hurt you anymore, Mom, or me. That's why I'm gonna kill him.
Drop it, son. I don't know who you are, mister, but I'm sure glad you showed up when you did. That boy of mine's got more fire in him than I had at his age.
Cut the act. You trying to make me believe this masked owl hoot isn't one of your own men?
Word of honor, he's not, Jimmy. I never saw him before in my life. Say, what are you doing here?
I heard you and your men were headed this way. I was anxious to meet you.
So you wanted to join up with the outfit, huh? Lots of fellas do. But I'm afraid you're a little late, mister. I'm disbanding the gang as soon as we get across the border.
I see. Then the Wells Fargo holdup was your last, is that it?
No use being greedy.
You wanted to take your wife and son along with you.
I wouldn't go anywhere with that crook. Neither would Mom.
Jimmy, please.
Can't do a thing with the boy. He's got himself a set of fancy high ideals.
They're good things to have. All right, Jimmy, get his gun.
Say, what is this?
There's been a slight change of plan, Darby.
Meaning what?
Meaning you're not crossing the border. You're going to return the money you stole and then go to prison.
Mister, are you on the level?
Of course he's not, son. Don't you see what he's up to? Once he has my gun, he'll grab all the money himself and beat it.
If that were true, Jimmy, I'd take his gun instead of asking you to do it for me. Are you going to get it or not?
It doesn't make sense. A masked man fighting to uphold the law. Unless... Mister, are you the man I've heard stories about? A man who rides a white horse and fires silver bullets?
Like this?
I might have known. You are the man I've heard about. What do we do now?
Tie and gag your father and get him out of sight, then wait for the rest of his gang. Is there any place we can hide him?
There's a bedroom in there.
I'm sorry you have to see all this, Mrs. Darby, but justice must be served. In the end, you'll all be better off.
I know that. I begged Len to believe that 10 years ago.
What about the money? It's all in here. I never saw so much gold and so many bills.
Oh, yes, the money. Jimmy, do you have some very secret place to hide it? Some place where no one could find it? Least of all, Darby and his gang? In case anything goes wrong, we don't want it to fall into their hands again.
I know just the place. Leave it to me.
I admire your nerve, mister, but not your stupidity. My gang will be here any minute. You'll be outnumbered. How do you figure to trap them?
I have the element of surprise on my side, Darby. They're not expecting me. Sometimes strategy is more important than numbers. All right, Darby, inside.
I'm getting worried about Kansas. He should have been here an hour ago.
Kansas can take care of himself.
Where have you been, Kansas? We had about given you up.
I got bulldogged by a masked man and a ninja.
A masked man? You mean some other renegade's trying to horn in on us?
That's what I'm not sure of. He looked like an owl hoot and talked like a low man. He told the engine to take me into town and turn me over to the sheriff. I was just lucky to break away before he got me there.
Where'd the masked man go?
Said he was coming in after Glenn and you boys.
You mean one low number's figuring on grabbing all of us?
Don't sell him short, Smokey. I saw him in action. He's a match for any 3 men. And that big white horse he was riding, like a comet.
Hey, wait a minute. I saw a white horse tied in the trees behind Glenn Darby's house. I figured it belonged to his kid.
You think he's in the house?
Yeah, he must be. If Glenn got took by surprise, no telling what happened.
What do we do? Glenn's got the money in the house.
We'll outsmart that masked hombre. That's what we'll do. He's expecting you two, but not me. Okay, you'll walk into his little trap, but we'll make it a trap that'll snap on him.
Here they come.
2 of them. That accounts for all of them, then. Darby never had more than 3 men working for him, and Tonto has the 3rd. Now, Jimmy, you understand what you're to do. Play innocent until I can get the drop on them.
I got you.
You will be careful, won't you?
Don't worry, I value Jimmy's life as much as my own. Now, you'd better wait in the kitchen, Mrs. Darby, in case anything goes wrong.
Oh, morning, son. Mind giving some directions to a couple of strangers who've lost their way?
I know. I'd be glad to. Come on in.
Thank you.
What's on your mind?
We were supposed to meet a friend near here. Been anybody else passing by asking questions?
No, there aren't many strangers past this way.
All right, kid, cut the act. We know Glenn Darby's in here. Where are you hiding him?
I don't know what you mean.
Maybe a little slapping around will help you remember.
Don't touch him. Now, reach. Jimmy, get their guns.
Now get over there.
Who are you, mister?
Never mind who I am. We're tying you up while we send for the sheriff.
You give a lot of orders for a man who hasn't got long to live.
I expect they'll live longer than you. Here, Jimmy. All right, put your hands behind your back.
Put your guns on the table, masked man, or I'll let the lady have it. You know I mean it. Drop yours too, boy.
It's like I said, mister. You sure did a lot of talking for a man who hasn't got long to live.
Go see if you can find Glenn.
What happened to my Indian friend?
He met with an unfortunate accident.
If you've killed him, you'll pay with your life.
All I can say is he looked awful dead.
Look what I found, all trussed up like a mummy.
Ashamed of you, boss. Who tied you up, your wife or your kid?
It's enough out of you, Kansas. You tricked me once, mister. Don't try it again. I never killed a man yet, but there's a first time for everything.
You're not the type, Darby. I've known too many outlaws. One of these other three might try to kill me, but not you.
Who is this big-talking hombre, Glenn?
I wish I knew.
Why don't we find out? He must have some kind of a face behind that mask.
I wouldn't touch this mask if I were you. No outlaw who's seen my face has ever lived to tell about it.
Well, reckon I'll be the first one, then.
You touch that mask and you'll have to answer to me, too.
What do you care whether I see his face or not, kid?
Because I know who he is, and I respect his reasons for hiding his face.
And you think you can keep me from taking off that mask?
I know I can.
Well, let's see you try.
Where's your $100,000, outlaw?
Hey, where is it, Glenn?
I don't know. The kid hid it somewhere.
It won't be hard to make him talk.
Well, no, wait a minute, Keg. No rough stuff.
What do you mean, no rough stuff? It is our money. The kid's got to tell us where he hid it.
All right. All right, let me talk to him. Look, Jimmy. Maybe I haven't been the best father in the world. Maybe I have caused you and your mother a lot of grief. I'm sorry for that. But keeping the money won't help any. Once me and the boys get it across the border, we'll be out of your lives forever. You'll never hear from us again. Now, don't you see? Give us the money and no one gets hurt.
Excepting all the innocent people you robbed, I suppose they don't count.
Good for you, Jimmy. You're twice the man your father is.
Talking won't do any good with this kid. What he needs is a little softening up.
Now, wait a minute. We'll get that money, but no one's going to hurt this boy.
Well, well, what do you know? It looks like blood's thicker than water.
Yeah, thicker than even $100,000.
Don't be crazy, boys. You know I've never double-crossed you, and I'm not going to start now.
You bet you're not, because we're not letting you.
And I'm not letting any of you touch my wife or kid.
Oh, no?
No. No!
Keg, keep that masked man covered. I don't know whether you give two hoots for this father of yours or not, but I'm going to find out right now. You've got just 1 minute to tell me where the money's hid, or I'll put a bullet through his head.
I guess you'll have to tell them, Jimmy, unless you really want your father to die like this.
No, son. Don't tell him. What happens to me doesn't matter. You're worth 10 of them.
I used to think it didn't matter, but now I'm not so sure. All right, I'll show you where I hid it. It's out in back near the old well.
Then we'll all go looking for it. I'm not leaving any of you behind to play any more tricks on us. Keg, bring up the rear. If one of them makes a false move, shoot to kill. Come on, kid.
Get going.
You too, masked man.
Hey, Jimmy. I thought you told me the old well was off toward the right.
To the right?
Yes, over there.
Trying to lead us on a false scent, is that it? Quit your stalling. Take us over to the right like the masked man said.
Oh, sure. I was getting a little mixed up in my directions.
Hey, where's that well?
Straight ahead. Not dead, run! Look out, boy!
Watch them both, Tonto. Where are the other two?
Them safe. Me tie them up with belts. You go quick. Glenn Darby hurt plenty bad. Me take care of this one.
Well, son, looks like you'll get your wish. That worthless father of yours is gonna die.
No, Dad, I don't want you to.
Why? I'm the same man I always was. Selfish, reckless, irresponsible.
Well, that's only one side of you. Mom's always told me about the other side, but I never really saw it till now. Mom's always said there was more good in you than bad. It's never too late to change. Will you give me a hand with my father, please? We've got to help him.
Sure, Jimmy. As you just said, it's never too late to change.
Time for you to leave now, Darby. Sheriff waiting outside.
I hope you'll not try to escape this time.
Don't worry, mister. I'm older now. I've learned my lesson. Term in jail doesn't frighten me so much anymore. Besides, any man would be a fool to run away from a wife and son like mine.
We'll be right here waiting for you, Dad, whenever you get out.
You've made your son respect you, Darby. Don't ever disappoint him again. Come along, Darby. We'll turn you over to the sheriff.
Go, Amy. So long, son. Take good care of your mother for me.
Sure, Dad.
If only I could let that masked man know how grateful I am for all he's done for us.
The West is full of folks who are grateful to him, Mom. He's the Lone Ranger.
Silver!